saw the city passing by my window. Was in the crowd, but I felt so alone. Looked at my phone like every other second. My future was blurry and numb, a tunnel where there's no light. Oh, but then you came and sat right next to me. Your eyes, they glowed and filled me up. We had never met before that time, but I just knew that we'd end up. You took it, you took it, took away my loneliness. So I know it, I know it. You're making me wholehearted. Together, together is always better. I don't want to be parted. You're making me wholehearted. You're making me wholehearted. We jumped off the subway leading nowhere. Your warm hands rubbed off the cold around me. I heard you say that everything is alright, but how did you know how I felt? You saw right through me that day. I was lost in space, but you pulled me down and wiped away those cloudy thoughts. I could see the sky when you were close to me. I can't believe what you brought. You took it, you took it, took away my loneliness. So I know it, I know it. You're making me wholehearted. Together, together is always better. I don't want to be parted. You're making me wholehearted. You're making me wholehearted. I will always remember it. How you turned everything around. I will always remember it. How you got me off the battleground. How you got me off the battleground. Yeah. You took it, you took it, took away my loneliness. So I know it, I know it. You're making me wholehearted. Together, together is always better. I don't want to be parted. You're making me wholehearted. You're making me wholehearted.
Hello everyone here and welcome back to day number 1 of TI10 closed qualifiers for China. My name is Flutin and I've got two handsome gentlemen joining me here on the panel for our next series. I've got Black and B-Cop. Lads, welcome here to TI10 qualifiers for China.
Yeah,
Thank you.
should be fun.
How's it going on the other side of the world?
Dude, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty cold here. You know, obviously I'm in Australia, so you guys are expecting it to be hot, but it's a little cold here. So, you know, for us to warm up a little bit, lads, let's start jumping directly into the bracket so we can see how these TI10 qualifiers have gone so far. And then I can start to get your kind of ideas about how we think it's going so far. So we'll start with you, Black. How do you feel like, you know, these TI qualifiers have been going so far?
Honestly, quite as expected, at least in China. I expected Elephant and RNG to be just 2-0ing the opponents, and that happened. I think the closest series we have today is actually the one we're going to have next, Phoenix against Sparking Arrow Gaming. Just purely based on names on the team and how they've been performing in the past. This game should be pretty even. Yeah, what do you think, B-Cup? You are the actual pro here. I'm just a dude.
I don't think that's true. I feel like we're both kind of, we were in it with the DPC and everything. I thought we were both kind of pros. But yeah, I think this matchup is pretty much the most equal one. You've got guys from Phoenix that moved over to SAG. 70's now on SAG, and they've switched to Yi, who used to be on Keen. There's a lot here with both these teams that I think they're pretty similar with. So we'll have to see, what really goes on with both these teams.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for us to dive into that B Cop and see where it does go. But I guess let's start touching on this first series then, lads. Obviously, Black is starting to lose it a little bit here because B Cop was muted for us in Discord a little bit there, but obviously you guys on the stream were able to hear it. So let's just jump straight into this, lads. Let's just get into this one. Sparking Arrow Gaming going up against Phoenix. Phoenix to me feels like a team that probably could have a pretty good run here, considering they were, the kind of third highest seed coming into these TI qualifiers. But I'm interested to see whether or not Sparking Arrow Gaming can kind of make this as tight as Black was saying.
Yeah, B Cop already knows. I've been a big fan of Shiro for a long time, so my personal vote goes out for them. Big Shiro fan. But we'll have to see what they can actually make happen here. They did get promoted to Division 1 for the next season, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not jumbling things up. Okay. On the draft so far, Lina Pangolier is a very interesting opening, not something we usually see. It's very versatile. They could both be mid, both be fours, potentially Pango even off lane, like we've seen it here in a lot of different positions. Much more standard, I would say, the Phoenix opening. Dragon Knight, Grimstroke, very good combination, double Dragon Tail. Good start for them.
Yeah, I like the DK Grimstroke. We see a lot of that in China. We've seen a lot of Grimstroke Doom come out in China. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do. I know DK is also being kind of popular in the off lane as well. Yeah. So we'll see where Phoenix really want to put it. And like you already said, you've seen a lot of versatility come out from Lina and Pangolier. So those are two heroes later in the draft. We're obviously going to figure out where they're going. But I'd like to say that with SAG at least, I could see it being a Lina mid already. But that might be too quick to jump the gun.
Honestly, what I'm surprised by the most is how little other regions pick Doom. Like in China, it's always first two picked or banned, pretty much, just because of how strong it is. The meta just generally being a little bit slower, so you can always get your items online in time to fight. And in this game also, first two banning Doom, of course. I'm wondering how many times in this entire qualifier it's actually going to go through, because the hero is an absolute powerhouse.
Well, we've seen it once already today, so I'd imagine Doom is going to be one of those heroes that will rotate through, especially for a lot of these Chinese teams, and especially with the fact that B Cop, you touched on it, that we've seen quite a lot of Grimstroke already coming out of the Chinese region, and I'm maybe surprised if that hero does make a bit of a resurgence. Are we expecting more kind of Grimstroke combinations coming out from Phoenix? Are we expecting a lot more of them to kind of double down on this team fight and just try and utilize that soulbind a lot more?
I could definitely see Phoenix really doubling down on Grimstroke, but I think that's a regional thing too. A lot of these teams in China just absolutely love Grimstroke. I think maybe even next game we see SAG pick up because they've played with that hero quite a bit. It was, I'm reiterating myself already, very popular within the Chinese region. So I think this is a hero. I know you guys in the previous two series, or the Parker and Aries and everybody talked about how Lion was a really contested hero throughout the other regions. I think in this region, you're going to see Grimstroke be a very contested hero all over.
Yeah, I mean, the hero is just so good. Once you get that shard, if you want to get that as a +5, you have this combo breaker ability in the Inkswell suddenly that also heals you. If you play him as a +4, you have this huge anti-carry, even anti-spirit hero as well, because of that silence, of course, being very pesky and hard to remove. It's an overall very strong hero, and also, just like Doom, a little bit underappreciated by other regions, I would say.
Yeah, and do we feel like, the Grimstroke instead of the Lion is just more of the fact that, the Chinese region has been playing a lot more, domestically against themselves? Obviously, they've done pretty well at LANs, but do you feel like with a lot of the third-party tournaments that they have kind of floating around in China, they've kind of figured out a little bit more away from the Lion and preferred the Grimstroke, off what you said, Black?
It's hard to say because China also loves the Lion. Like we see Kaka especially, he's like the biggest Lion fan in the entire world probably. It's, I would say, probably just a style thing because Grimstroke has a lot of very strong offlane combinations. but he's going to be +5 this time around. And Rubik, honestly, I'm not a big fan of Rubik. I hate Rubik quite a bit. I mean, all of us do at the CN SEA panel that we did in the 2 seasons. Yeah, the hero just never wins. It's so squishy. I guess with Grimstroke you have to double Fate Bolt, but other than that, like, it doesn't strike me as amazing here, if I'm being completely honest.
5 seconds.
Yeah, Rubik just doesn't feel like the hero it used to be, and we were, you know, you're seeing it in the Chinese region with guys like FY and Jinkyu who are, and PYW who are just masters at Rubik, and they were still losing. I think FY only won like 1 or 2 games throughout both seasons with Rubik, and that's coming from the master Rubik player. This hero's not in a great spot compared to what it's going up against in the metas right now. And yeah, I mean, when we were on the panel, or well, I was never on the, I got to talk to the panel sometimes when we were in different rooms only. But yeah, we just never really liked that Rubik pick. And I think as much as I love Grimstroke, like, and I think Phoenix, to me at least, is the favorite, I think this draft, at least the supports, looks very weak. I love Grimstroke. I think he adds a lot. When you look at Rubik and now you've got Rubik Grimstroke, I'm not sure if that's really the support duo I'd be most confident in, especially with the options that you had early on.
Yeah, I was going to touch on the fact that, you know, Phoenix did get rid of the Hoodwink, and we've seen that, you know, a little bit from some of these other regions, but, you know, China do like to play it like a decent amount. So I'm surprised that the Rubik is kind of the response here. Maybe it is a response to something like the Viper that's coming out from Sparking Arrow Gaming. And it still seems like Phoenix are not 100% sure what is left here for Sparking Arrow, considering they've got a lot of these heroes that can kind of be pretty flexible. So what are we expecting for kind of this last pick coming out of this draft for Sparking Arrow Black?
They need probably a frontliner. Like, they got a lot of good backline interrupt. They got Spectre that can jump the backline, but they don't really have a guy to go in first and give that information. Like, you don't just want to blow a random haunt just for vision. You want someone to go in first, stun a guy, then you haunt, and you get on top of the backline with the Pangolier. That's sort of what they're missing right now. So an Ember Spirit could be really good. They don't have the best answers to that. Makes a lot of sense against the draft of Phoenix Gaming as well, because of the just squishy support duo overall. Very weird. Like, Rubik Grimstroke is very strong offensively, but you have like almost 0 defensive options.
Ooh, okay.
Kanka. Now Ember makes even more sense. Like, it's a very good lane against Kanka, and they have a lift for him. That's pretty much it. Like, you will never get reached by that Phantom Embrace. Just too slow.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw the Conqueror in the previous series as well, right? You know, the fact that it enables a lot of these heroes to be a lot more tankier with the boat rum and all that, so that maybe that's the kind of idea that they've got, right, to try and alleviate a bit of their pressure on the Rubik and the Grim. But it still feels like maybe they might be lacking a little bit of damage coming out from Phoenix, especially going into something like a Spectre. If she gets, you know, quite tanky, gets that Skadi, gets a Manta, get also all those kind of items, that might, you know, be pretty hard for Phoenix to try and bring her down a little bit later on.
Sand King middle. Well, at least now Rubik has some good spells to steal. Wait, it's not Sand King middle, it's Lina middle, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be Sand King off lane, okay.
I mean, at least now you have that Initiator that we spoke about, and it's a 4 Pangolier.
So
yeah,
it's a 5 Viper, okay.
Yeah, interesting. We have seen it in other regions, especially SA, and it's been doing quite a bit of work, especially against these quote-unquote weaker offlaners, which Dragon Knight is not really one of them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not this Viper is going to actually do what everyone's expecting it to do, right? You know, if Sparking Arrow Gaming are kind of the innovators when it comes to trying to deal with these meta heroes like the Dragon Knight, like the Conqueror that we've seen quite a lot, then maybe this is something moving forward for the rest of the Chinese region that we're going to be seeing a lot more. So, lads, where do we feel like we're standing here after this Game 1 draft? B-Cop, we'll start with you first.
Who am I going for? Oh, can I choose after the game's over? Is that like a thing I can do?
That's kind of cheating, dude. Like, you try to come in and try and get a prediction for game number 1. You're like, oh, I'll wait until the winner's decided from game number 1.
He's been doing that for 4 months, man. He's been every single
It's been
time.
longer than that. I've been getting away with that for probably the better part of this year. But I'm going to go Phoenix. I think for me, they're my favorite overall, at least.
All right, awesome. What about you, Black? Where are we standing in game number 1?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go the same way. The Terrorblade seems a little bit strong with that boat buff. They don't really have good answers to him.
All right, well, let's see if the panelists are going to be correct here. Game number 1 between Sparking Arrow Gaming and Phoenix Gaming is underway, so let's get into it.
Oh, getting into game number 1, Black. Should be fun. Should be everything we've been excited for. We got to cover some of the Southeast Asia and Chinese regions, so you know, it's good to be back with you again. And we only got to do one SEA series. I don't know if you feel the same, but you know,
I mean,
hopefully
we'll see how you treat me this time around. If you're gonna be nice
how
to
I
me.
treat you. Okay, fair enough.
I'm sorry if you guys didn't mean it. Please don't hurt me again.
Well, yeah, I've left Romania. I can't do anything at this point, and you're too swole for me.
I've been getting so much bigger since I got here, or rather since I'm stuck here and can't go back home. It's the only good thing. I'm going so hard at the gym that, you know, like my veins are popping.
So you're showing that guy at the gym up. He's not the strongest guy in the gym anymore.
Yeah, and I'm not making those sounds. But getting into this game, I do think this Terrorblade is gonna be, like, they have tools to deal with him. It's just as soon as that BKB comes out, I'm very scared for this Radiant team, especially killing him through that Kunkka buff. Gonna be so incredibly hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of lack of like lockdown for Phoenix, so maybe I feel like SAG might get away with something that maybe they shouldn't with the rum buff and BKBs and everything. But we'll see how it goes and how SAG are going to play this early goings, because I'm not too confident in Phoenix early, at least. I think their laning might be able to get abused here, exposed a little bit.
Yeah, their mid game should be pretty damn strong though, once they have some item timers come out. And they actually switched things around a little bit. Like they put Dragon Knight middle and Kunkka off lane because of how SAG decided to lane. Makes a lot of sense. Dragon Knight is quite good against Lina, and Kunkka should be free farming against Spectre. And I'm not entirely sure about his Viper. Like, if he gets off to a good start and can dominate the lane, he's going to transition into a decently strong mid game. But if he loses the lane, that's the problem with +5 Viper. You just do nothing. You're just a flying, I don't know, paper plane that doesn't do anything.
Paper planes do go down pretty easily.
Yeah.
So
Anything wrong here, so
yeah, I'm keeping
maybe
quiet.
they're online, maybe they're offline. I definitely
Who
have
knows?
the same favorites, even if it's offline though. You also thinking Elephant, or are you thinking someone else?
I actually have Phoenix going through. I know I think it's maybe I'm a little bit just unsure because of the inconsistencies we saw from Elephant, and honestly the inconsistencies we saw from Elephant, eHome, and RNG.
Fair enough. It's just ever since Super joined the team, we keep saying that, you know, RTK joined the team, woo, expectations, everything. Once again, now Super joined the team, so my expectations are higher again. Yep, 100%. It's not gonna be easy though. There's tough competition here.
ZZQ taking a little bit of damage there from the burrow strike and the swashbuckle coming in, and they're gonna get first blood up top.
Yep.
That is a first blood kill for SAG.
Yep. Just get blown up so easily. So see if TB will have to go to the jungle relatively early or not, because that combo is very strong with the caustic finale, swashbuckle plus disarm. Not something TB likes.
And it's only going to get stronger. It's not something, and it's going to get stronger outscaling what TB is going to be able to get away with, right? Like the caustic's only going to get stronger, the burrow strike's only going to get longer, and if you get unlucky and, well, Tanglier gets the lucky shot off, you're going to be in trouble. Like, that's not an easy lane for TB. So yeah, I agree with you. Like, I'm waiting to see what ends up happening here to Shiro if he gets to even be in the jungle, because the way SAG play, I wouldn't be surprised if they invade quite a bit. They're going to get the burrow strike off on his EZQ, go to the Inkswell. He'll survive up in this top lane.
They had like 10 health. Goku getting
Stone had some harassment himself, though.
Yeah, but Zanking already having the boots and a fresh pair of tangles. Oh, they have to be so careful that they don't get caught out. He was very close to the tower. The only reason he survived there. If he gets caught out in the middle of the jungle, he will just die. And there's nothing to do about it. The Viper, completely out of resources. There's a lot of go back to base, and he will.
Yeah, I think that's the decision you have to make. And you look at how slow he's moving, and he's already out of resources. The lane right now for Phoenix over bottom feels pretty great. And I mean, that's just the question we had in terms of like, how is this gonna be for Phoenix in the laning phase? We didn't exactly expect it to go that well, but well, you take a look at the CS. TB, DK, they're up towards the top. Dome, aka Guevara, he's doing all right himself over bottom.
Yep,
keeping up with MS.
It's a problem with the Viper. Like, you are maybe going even in a lane you would otherwise lose, but is it enough to justify putting a Viper as a +5, who, as we said, coming into a mid game, is not going to be doing a whole lot? Like, if you ever walk into a Terrorblade range, you're actually just gonna die in 2 seconds.
Yeah, and that's what kind of confuses me about this Viper in the 5. Maybe I've just not seen it succeed yet, but we see Vipers that fall behind and really can't do that much themselves in a core position, but now, you know, in a support role, let's see what they can do. And as I say that, Dome is getting really ticked down here by XCJ and MS, who will claim his life. So he uses all his mana. He's got that clarity. Maybe they can do that again. That's the activity you need from the Viper to really be successful. Something he didn't find with that first set of resources.
Yeah, this poison attack from the Viper, of course. The same reason why he's such a strong mid laner. Is exactly why he's such a strong +5 as well. Kanka just... He had full health too, I think. He wasn't even low HP or anything. It's taken down.
So now I wonder if Dome feels like he has to be a little bit more careful with his positioning and how he's going to play up against XCJ. Because you don't have the best help from Rubik. Like we said, this hero really doesn't feel like it does enough.
Yeah. OHP is pretty lackluster. Rubik in trouble here, maybe?
They go after Planet. They've got the X as well as the Torrent. Oh, gosh. That Tidebringer really hurting. They're trying to get XCJ, just doesn't have the range to do so, and one more right click coming out from XCJ beforehand. But this is now the opposite side of it as well, right? It's the fact that XCJ is now out of health and mana.
Mid lane actually gets taken down. Good Dragon Tail and a Grimstroke rotation. Of course, Dragon had one of the best partners for Grimstroke. Easy Inkswell setup, and Lina, one of the squishier heroes. Good rotation. Didn't actually expect that kill to happen.
Yeah, getting 70 is a big one. That's one of the things, though, with Yi that I'm excited to see. Like, when he first came to Phoenix, I think I was really excited because it was the first team he was on in a year. He had stopped playing for Keen Gaming. They dissolved, and all of a sudden, you know, he's without a team for so long. He comes in where 70 was playing for Phoenix, and he's a guy who's got a lot of experience, and he's pretty young too. Like, this is a kid who really, when he was on Keen playing with Old Chicken and Old 11, made a name for himself with stars by his side. So, like, there's obviously something that he does stage where that could definitely happen, and they're gonna go bottom looking for this Viper, and XCJ's in a lot of trouble. They've got the X as well as the Torrent, and another Tidebringer to get the kill. Dome will get credit for that one, and Yi already into the Elder Dragon form, looking to pressure this bottom tier 1 and ultimately take out some of the farming area for this Spectre.
Yeah, what's Lina's counter move? Just farming jungle for now, but Sankin will be the one TPing bottom. Potentially just setting up a Sandstorm. And it should be enough to defend the tower. They don't have a Sentry Ward or any sort of revelation down here. Spectre TPing top.
Yeah. And this all is really available to SAG to make this counter move to bring Son Goku down here because Terrorblade's in the jungle. So that top lane's free. You want to give that over to the Spectre? You want to put pressure over bottom? Fine, we'll bring the Sand King in. He can Sandstorm and just clear up the creeps. It's as easy as that for SAG.
Yeah. And now Kanka also just rotating top. Doing a little old switcheroony. Terrorblade is still getting away with a lot though. Still top of the net worth. And that's not where you want Terrorblade to be if you are SAG in this early game.
Is this a game where DK goes early Blink?
It's either Blink or BKB. They sort of have a good initiation tool with the X mark. So if you X the guy and the Dragonair with BKB runs in, that could be pretty scary. But if they just want to double down on the aggression, he's gonna go Blink into BKB afterwards. I will have to see what kind of route they want to go.
Yeah, because they'll have that Blink as well as the Inkswell, so I'm wondering if that's the way they want to initiate. They've already got Inkswell at level 3, so I'm assuming, you know, they want to use that Inkswell and aggression as much as they can, and if Yi can get himself into a decent timed Blink Dagger, it would really help.
Yep, definitely a very potent combination. It's just, sometimes if you overcommit on the initiation department, and you're just not tanky enough to actually take those fights, because they have a lot of damage if you don't have BKB. But if you have BKB, they have almost no damage.
Right now, he's sitting 2-1 and 0. He's having a pretty decent start. He's not top of the net worth or anything, but he's keeping pace with the 3 cores of SAG.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit worried for the Spectre, simply because you can't farm at all as fast as Terrorblade. And Terrorblade is considered to be a counter matchup to the Spectre. So even though things are looking okay for SAG, they were hoping to actually be ahead in this early game and not behind.
Right.
Because their lineup should be excelling a little bit more early. They also have Haunt available now. They should be looking to make some sort of move soon. Maybe they're gonna wait for the Sanking Blink though. 400 gold away from
and
that.
as you say that, Phoenix, they go into their own smoke. They're looking to play aggressive. They might be able to find themselves a Viper, who you might forget is the 5 in this. So he's kind of happy to tank this gank. Not the worst thing in the world for XCJ to be the one who dies on that.
Yeah. Plus 5 Viper, bottom net worth. You don't have any stuns. Like, what did you really contribute at this point? That another hero wouldn't just do way better than you.
I could hear it in your voice. I kind of glimpsed over the camera too, and you said pause 5 Viper, and you were just like, yeah, you know, you're not really doing too much. 1200 net worth. Like, I can feel it in your voice.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. It can work, but you have to crush the lane, which they didn't.
Yeah.
They got 1 kill, that's it. That doesn't warrant a +5 Viper.
And there's just no aggression coming out early from SAG. Like, I really wanted them to play a little bit more aggressively. And, you know, they've... Maybe this is... I think it's on Phoenix more so than it is on SAG, because they played the lanes much better than we thought they would. And now TB's kind of had this space and time where he's sitting 1,000 net worth above the Lina. Like, Shiro's lane wasn't easy. We looked at it up towards top. He was getting pressured. He was pushing into the jungle pretty early, but the side of SAG didn't punish that.
The power of Terrorblade, and he might potentially be getting the tower down there. So you see the Rubik
Planet
fall.
getting
Was a
caught there
pretty
by
easy kill.
September.
Blink reveal by June. Renamed himself Son Goku. I don't know how they come up with all these crazy names.
Well, September renamed himself too. So the team I wanted to make, which was March, September, June, and in July, can't really happen anymore because they're changing their names.
Yeah, which is why I like the names. That's how I got to know you guys. Maybe they want
I still
to
call
forget
them
the
that.
memories of me. Hey, what? You got to know Black under this name? No. I'm done. Oh, what did DK go for? Wait, he went for the fast blink.
He went for the blink.
Oh, now they are the ones looking for some fights, and they have a very strong initiation.
Ooh, great Torrent to start that off. So now they're gonna have the extra tap, but the Rolling Thunder comes in. There's the boat stolen Rolling Thunder by Planet. So let's see how far around this fight he can get to really disrupt what SAG are throwing their way. They look over, they get the kill on S7E, and they're looking for more, but ZZQ, he ends up being the trade for now. Shiro's made his presence felt, but he really hasn't done much more than that.
Yep, you're gonna say hello. Without meta, Terrorblade obviously isn't very scary. And you cannot ever give away your Rolling Thunder to Rubik. It's just way too good. And now Rubik is actually a really good hero because of this one ability.
Yeah.
Gotta be absolutely careful you don't give it to him. And quick fingers by Planet to recognize and steal it right away.
He got it immediately. That was really impressive how quickly he was able to grab that Rolling Thunder. And that's, like you said, probably the best ability he can get. And that makes Rubik a lot more functional as someone who's going to be able to disrupt the fight. And with Phoenix, how we said they kind of are lacking lockdown, that is a great feeling to have that. Top lane, though, Kunkka in a little bit of trouble. Epicenter, Inkswell going the other way. They're going for the Pangolier. They've got the blink from the Dragon Knight. He now on the run. And Son Goku will have himself that Burrow Strike. They've got the damage coming out of E. Do they have the finishing blow? Yes, they do. Caustic Finale as well as the right clicks from XCJ is enough. And the Rolling Thunder from Planet this time just isn't. They send a ghost ship out, but, well, it's still a 2-for-0 for SAG at the moment. They might get themselves a third on a ZZQ, and they will. 7E not really giving up the gas. And, well, Son Goku's under the tower with that Sandstorm. He's A-okay, and it's a 3-for-0 trade in the favor of SAG, something that, you know, we weren't seeing from them early, but that's good pressure to really make up a lot of ground.
Yeah, well played by them. But Phoenix, gotta be really careful when you go blink first on DK in a lineup like this.
Yeah.
Terrorblade was nowhere nearby. You need him to fight with you if you want to make plays like this.
I think sometimes we see with the DKs too, they get that early blink and they want to make things happen, but if what happens up top happens to you 1-2 times in a row, sometimes as a DK, your game can feel over.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it looks pretty
you just
bad
don't
already
gain
now.
much.
Like, he was ahead of the Lina, now he's behind all 3 cores of the Radiant. Just because of that one incident. And you don't have the BKB, you don't have any...
We'll see what really comes of this game for Yi for the DK. He's going into the BKB. We'll see how quickly he gets to that. I would expect they want to fight once he's got level 12 at least. And TB, he's not terribly close to it, but about 1,500 gold away from this BKB. So the BKBs could be the timing right now for Phoenix that they're looking at. That into a fight, into a Roche, that could definitely really push Phoenix forward in this game. But right now, SAG, they've got a minuscule net worth lead, and they looked pretty good in their last fight.
Yeah, the only problem, well, if you even want to call that a problem, Terrorblade being very big is obviously never really an issue for the team, but the timing is going to be a little bit different because Dragon Knight doesn't farm as fast. DB will have his BKB way sooner than Dragon Knight. And they might be missing each other's timing a little bit.
Right, offset on the timings, but I wonder if having level 12 at least on Yi is good enough. And I said, you know, maybe Phoenix want to be the ones who are going into Roche, but SAG, they take that, and that objective now is theirs with an Aegis going through onto MS.
Yeah, that's the easiest Roche ever. They had a DD on Lina, and they found an illusion on Spectre. There's nothing better they can find for this Roshan. It died so fast. They have a Pangle here on top of that. I don't think, and even if Phoenix knew, I don't really think they can contest that. There's just too many things going for SAG at that time.
Because we always talk about it, but how many times are we going to see? Ooh, yeah, Torrent comes in, that lands, and they should be able to get the kill here onto the Sand King. Tunka, and within the range of that sentry that they had placed down a little bit earlier, and that lets them get the kill onto the Sand King. So, you know, Phoenix, they find a pick off, and that's off the back of a good Torrent that comes in than the DK, but that might be ultimately enough to open up space for Yi to get back into the game a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. And also look at the Terrorblade B-Cup. Minute 18, BKB St. Joshua, he's humongous.
Yeah.
I don't know how you kill him now
Actually,
through the rum. Like, even though you have another X-Mark on the Viper,
Yeah, XCJ, he's going to be in trouble. And that should be a quick kill. Lugudably comes down on his ZZQ. Now they've got the Soulbind. That's actually going to leash up the Pango. That
so
stops him in his tracks with the Rolling Thunder. That's perfect. But now coming in with the Epicenter is going to be the Sand King. They get the kill here onto the Pango as well. 7E. They'll take him out. ZZQ finally falls. Yi trying to get out, but he heals up into the air. They get the Aegis out of the hands of MS, but now the Burrow Strike hits onto Yi. They'll get the kill onto the DK. They look over at Dome, who's in a lot of trouble. Gets the Tidebringer out. Almost kills off the Viper and finally gets the kill there for Planet. But Dome falls. His 4 times kill streak is gone. And at the end of the day, you bought back on XCJ. He's already paper. He dies twice. It's not the worst buyback for SAG. Kind of an even trade at the end of the day.
Yeah, but of course the big winner once more is the Terrorblade. He got 2 kills, 2 assists. He almost has his first ultimate orb now suddenly. He's just getting filthy rich.
Yeah.
And we said he's going to be the biggest problem, and he already is. Coming to the mid game, it's only going to get worse from here on out. It's not like your damage suddenly just goes up tenfold on this SAG side. Like, your damage, what you have now, there's the next power spike of the Manta style, but you never really will apply the Desolate onto the Terrorblade because he will have illusions around him. It's not easy to kill this guy at all this game. It's going to be very tough. He's sitting at 2.3k health. Good luck.
Yeah, he is very strong. You can definitely feel the presence of 7E. The question is he going to be able to get those right clicks out? He's going towards a BKB. He right now needs the Mithril Hammer, and SAG grouping up, potentially looking to make a move around the map, but fighting into the BKBs and not having your BKB ready on your Lina and not having a BKB on the Spectre. How are you going to get everything out of this that you want? Like, the only thing that's down at the moment is Elder Dragon form. If ZZQ can place down another great Soulbind that locks up the Rolling Thunder, your fight is not looking that great.
Yeah, they smoked up looking for something though. No smoking. And now Metamorphosis back off cooldown. But the other Metamorphosis is on cooldown. Of course, the Dragon Knight form. He's just using it off cooldown pretty much to just farm. Because he's behind quite a bit. You gotta be able to catch up on networth again, otherwise you're just gonna be... Mistake by Phoenix, but they're looking for aggression. They might be finding the Pangle here.
Yeah, September could be in trouble, but if they head more towards top and go towards MS, which I think is their target as he's showing in lane, he might find himself in a really bad spot. And they'll cut him off at the pass, and they'll have the X, they'll have the Rubik to stun up MS. Go ship in, everything's there. ZZQ's the one who gets credit for the kill, and it's easy for Phoenix to really just take out this Spectre when he's all alone.
Yeah. can just see how much damage Terrorblade deals to the Spectre, even through a dispersion. You have the reflection as well, so Spectre desolates herself. It's just overall a really rough matchup. And Phoenix didn't even hesitate at all. As soon as they saw the Spectre, there was an instant TV pick. It makes sense why.
And then that's a kill on Spectre that doesn't require BKBs, so like that's always a good feeling. You keep those timings on the BKB, and yeah, you use meta, but you get a good prize out of it.
You did, but now you're gonna have this 90 seconds where you're a little bit vulnerable. Or maybe they wanna have another smoke on SAG to try and punish that. They don't have any smokes right now though, so should be fine on Phoenix. Once that Skadi's up on Terrorblade, I really fear for this Radiant side. It's gonna be tough. Really, really tough.
And it's soon. It's really soon. He is leading the net worth by 5,000. Shiro really putting in the work on this TB, and he knew when to bail from that lane. He knew when to go into the jungle, and he's played pretty much perfectly since.
Mind you, B-Cup, in other regions we see TB being picked first too, and even then people can't find an answer. This was a 4th pick Terrorblade after you saw 4 heroes of the...
Who do you think's the proper counter to this TB, or is it just straight up get this hero out, ban him, similar to how we're seeing people react to like Nyx Assassin?
Most of the time it's Phantom Lancer, but if you pick it second in the first phase, you have 3 bans to cover yourself. And if you pick it 8th, then obviously you also have bans to cover yourself. And the carry was already out anyways.
Right.
So if you pick him in the right scenario, TB seems pretty unstoppable right now. And as I said, like, PL seems to be the only real answer people could come up with. I think Naga Siren is also really good. We have seen he loses lane, he just goes jungle, and suddenly he has more net worth than you, even though he lost the lane.
I feel like we used to see that when we saw like Luna's very popular in carry, like go back into the jungle and then nobody would punish. I think teams just aren't punishing when you go into the jungle. When you don't punish and you give that much open space, I don't know what you're expecting to happen when we see heroes like TB really good at using the jungle to farm. And they'll go after Son Goku here. Fuels up into the air, Burrow Strike away, as well as the blink. So he's got some space with the Rolling Thunder behind him, and now a Haunt. They're going to go over for CCQ and get a quick kill onto the Grimstroke. Rolling Thunder going the opposite direction now. As the BKB gets popped by E, they'll go after September, who's taking a bit of damage and gets the Swashbuckle away. So he's fine, and they bump back on ZZQ.
Yeah, well played by Son Goku there. They used meta. They used Dragon Form. They used BKB on Dragon Knight. Roshan will respawn in...
Ooh, drum roll. 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Oh,
okay.
Wow, that's bad timing for Phoenix.
If they get to know that soon on SAG, they might be able to take that. They still have BKB on Lina. It didn't really expend anything other than Pangolia's roll, which is back off cooldown in 20 seconds.
They know. SAG know.
Question is, are they just gonna force it? I think they can, and they think they can as well. Very lucky timing.
If Burrow Strike on the Rubik, I'm wondering if that's going to be a stun enough to make something happen here. Yeah, they'll take out the paper plane. That is XCJ on the Viper, but this Roche is getting low, already under half health. They've got the Torrent that lands onto the Lina, as well as the Soul Mine that combines him towards this Spectre. Of its health left. Phoenix, they need to be careful about how they position the Burrow Strike, as well as the Epicenter coming through into the TB, as well as ZZQ, just fought back in the previous fight. They'll get the kill on a ZZQ, and now we'll keep over at the Lina with the BKBs being popped at the side of Phoenix. They'll go after 7E and get the kill onto the Lina. Son Goku, he's the target next, but, well, now he's dusted. He's under the guise of a Sentry Ward as well, but does manage to escape for the moment.
Rubik is out of position completely.
Yeah, he's caught, but what can they do from this? The Tiebreaker does a decent amount of damage. Planet's dead. He's got buyback. MS back into the pit. And your lockdown on this really is not amazing for the side of Phoenix. So again, dancing around the pit, kind of having
Meta
the
up in
standoff.
30. Once this meta is back off cooldown, this Roshan should belong to Phoenix.
If they get there in time, the Bro Strike's going to land on the TB. It goes to the backlines over towards Dilem. And now they'll get the kill on XCJ. The paper plane's down. They've got the break onto the Terrorblade. And Aegis is picked up by MS. So it was just a distraction the entire time. Son Goku goes down, but that's fine. Spectre getting away with everything. Aegis, Cheese, as well as the Shard. Now we'll see if MS can make it out. In a little bit of trouble with that hitting him, but Spectre not looking to fight, just looking to disengage.
Oh, you
And now
caught
the
him?
Rolling Thunder comes in, and they got the stun onto the Spectre. They should have the right click damage to at least take out the first life. Oh, that's off cooldown. So juking, jiving, trying to get away. Almost jukes out Yi. I think he caught a glimpse of him going down south. And yeah, he found him. So there's the stun as well as the right click damage, but they've got the swashbuckler. The Burrow Strike's not going to be in time with the epicenter, though. He gets CCQ as well as Planet. So they've got themselves two. MS at least gets one from the grave. Now, let's say he doesn't land. Son Goku, he bought back for this. Laguna Blade, Burrow Strike coming in from Son Goku with the BKB being popped by Shiro. They've got the kill on Son Goku with the BKB now being popped by 70. He's going to try and run, but 70, you can't run, you can't hide, and I don't think that LSA is going to save your life. Shiro with the triple kill, the mega kill streak, and a dieback on this Sand King. That is, despite the fact they didn't get the Aegis Cheese or Shard, works out pretty well for the side of Phoenix.
Yeah, the Spectre was tipping out, got caught, like, had like 0.2 seconds left or so on the TP. Very well played by E. Doesn't lose his life either. And we just see the Terrorblade getting more and more and more. Like, he is sitting 7k net worth out of the Spectre. An absolute menace. Wow. This guy's unstoppable. We said it in the draft, he was gonna be the biggest threat from this entire Phoenix draft. And Shiro is playing it amazingly. Don't know how you stop him at this point. Like, Lina didn't really itemize in a way to stop him. None of them did. But can you, with the drafts that you have even? That is the big concern that we had. So far, they couldn't address him at all.
I don't know when they're going to be able to address this TB.
It's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
He's on a good pace to the Satanic. Like, he's just so filthy rich. And we see this over and over again. Terrorblade just takes over games. The Sunder against Spectre. Spectre hates buying BKB. She never will do it. Unless there's a Viper on the enemy team or something crazy like that. You're a free Thunder target every time. That's why the matchup is so bad.
It's not great here for MS. We'll get a quick pause coming up from ZZQ. He's got a little bit of lag coming his way. And I mean, talking about the TB here, like, he's on a great pace for his Satanic. He's on a great pace for everything. I mean, he is so far ahead in farm. He's in Great Pace City. I'm going to name the first city because we do that a lot.
Great Pace City? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know
if
that works
one.
for you.
No, it's good. It's good. I like my cities. It's a good city. He also bought Blink Dagger first, of course, before the Morbid Mask. It's just really good to be able to follow up on the Dragon Knight initiation. You can just see how they itemize. They're all itemizing just to frontline for the Terrorblade, give him as much information as possible. Kanka, wait for the pipe, into the Sange. Dragon Knight, same thing, BKB Sange. You just need to tank through, TB will deal all the damage by himself.
I actually really love this blink on TB, the way we see the aggression come out from these TBs that are ahead in Great Pace City. They, you know, you use the blink, you follow up, like you said, the Dragon Tail, but if the fight's close, blink, reflection, Inkswell, you're in danger. Like, that's not a good fight for you. And he can immediately go into the meta, pop the BKB, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, if I stay away from the Terrorblade, I should be fine. Well, if the Terrorblade goes to you, you're not fine. Like, that's not going to be good for you. It's the opposite of good for you.
I'm going to bring you back a little bit to past City. Remember how I said there aren't a lot of good carries right now against Terrorblade?
Right.
The Blink Dagger is the main reason. Like, Drow Ranger sounds really good on paper, right? You can pierce through all their base armor. Well, if he blinks on top of you, what do? You're just dead.
Yeah.
It is such a good item for him now that you can upgrade it to a Swift Blink in the late game. that even
for
these
sure.
Arc Warden counters that we see, they oftentimes don't really work. Just because of the Swift Blink.
And the Swift Blink, I would say, probably comes out after the Satanic.
Yeah, maybe
You're
Daedalus.
already down by so much. Yeah, I could see that too. I'm just wondering what he's going to want to replace if
look.
you've got
Another
basically
stack.
6 slot.
They've been preparing so many stacks for
Juicy
him.
farm.
Yeah. Is he ping top? Okay, very interesting TP. He's all by himself. But he's not feeling any danger at all. Like, he's
No.
the big boy.
Definitely knows, like, if you want to come.
To work with. And of course a Paladin Sword on top, just for good measure. Angolier.
Telekinesis coming under the Pangolier. And they've got the Torrent to follow it up. The Steel Shield Crash, and it's an easy kill into September.
More like Deadolier. That was funny.
I'll give you the chuckle. I got you. Chat may laugh. We'll see where it goes. They're going to go even further into
Paper
this.
plane?
They'll find the paper plane that is this Viper. He's trying to survive.
move.
But yeah, he can't even move. The Ghost Scepter isn't enough. And now this tier 2 is dead on its own screen already.
And they have no glyph. And Terrorblade is like, alright, I'm going high ground.
Might even just force the issue, go tier 3, threaten the racks and 4s.
How do they burst this guy? They don't.
Son Goku. See if he can turn on the Ultra Instinct.
I'm respecting him a little bit, or maybe not. No respect.
Link forward
half
from
health
me,
right
trying
now.
to find somebody out.
A little careful. And they got what they wanted. Buybacks,
Yeah.
tier 3 tower. Roshan is nowhere near the respawn timers, so using their cooldowns doesn't really matter at this point. And back to farm. Already back to 2k gold again. Swift Blink next on the menu. Once that's up, I don't know like how you get away from it. Like, he's gonna like 4-hit you. So much damage
bring
coming
you-
out from this guy.
I'll bring you back to Past City, but I feel like with each item you've named a different thing that they can't do against this TB. TB, how do you lock him down? Scotty, how do you kill this guy? Satanic, how do you bring him below half health? Swift Blink, how do you get away from this guy? Like, it's just like all those boxes are getting checked off. TB, he's filling them all in. Like, he's happy. Shiro's
That's the
doing
thing with all the
so
new
well.
item buffs, though. Like Satanic suddenly such a good item on him because of all the buffs it received. Scotty always has been. Sanjasha is like always the go-to pickup for the status resistance. Swift Blink suddenly added to the game too. You're like, okay, I'm terrible. I love all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Even
And you've got the
this buff
MKB.
as well. Against Lucky
Yeah.
Shot, so good.
Feels great. How do you kill him? Maybe
No Swift Blink
7-8
though.
with the
So maybe you
MKB.
can still get away.
it's close though.
It's close. Meta up in 20. They're even giving the book to TB because the 25, of course, is a massive power spike. The meta attack range has suddenly become Terrorblade Sniper. I wonder when they're gonna rework that talent. It should not be there.
It will stay, and instead they'll give TB a voice line where he just goes ha ha ha.
Oh,
Puts on
I
his
would
like
dig that.
little
Actually, I would
sniper
not
hat.
dig that. I would uninstall Dota. TB's voice is so good. You can't ruin
Yeah.
that.
Well,
It's
it
smoked
would
up.
be in his voice. Exactly.
And, if they go all in on the TB, maybe they can do it. Probably not. They're scared to do it. They don't want to try. I don't blame them.
That's how confident he is. He's going on the high ground like that.
Agitreads too. He's like, nah, you don't have enough damage.
Wow.
Magnite,
That's
though.
going to get used here, and, well, this could be a problem for Yi. Pops the BKB. The Epicenter's not going to be enough. The Rolling Thunder coming through. They've got the break onto the TB. But now
Meta,
it's
though.
time for SAG to retreat. And we said, how do you retreat against the TB that's got himself the Blink Dagger? XCJ, well, he'll throw the Viper Strike out at him. They've got the X as well as the Torrent coming through. Aeon just keeping him alive for a second longer. And 1, 2 seconds longer. That's how long that ion disc kept him alive afterwards.
Yep. And now Midrex is exposed. They know Viper has no buyback, no Rolling Thunder, no Haunt, no nothing really.
Oh, good torrent. That's gonna land. Yules, Son Goku has the shard. I just realized I saw a little bit of that epicenter pop. They're gonna go after this Lina. Ghost ship comes in, not even needed. Shiro gets the kill on a 7E. They've got the torrent storm, just sending all these torrents around the horn. MS in trouble. X back, hit up into the air. They've got the soul line coming out. Once again, MS is going to be dead without buyback. The look for more. Son Goku looking like that target of the Rolling Thunder comes in from September, but it's really not doing enough. They've got the X. They'll pull back Son Goku. They should be able to get the kill with a nice Dragon Tail coming in here from this DK. Son Goku's dead. 4 heroes down on the side of SAG.
Yeah, when are they going to type the magic letters? Not yet. TBC has Thunder? Doesn't even want to use it. He's like, you're not worth it.
Swashbuckle
Puny
disarm
Tangle
September on the run, but the Blink Dragon Tail coming in here from Yi. The right click damage and the Fable coming through. And they've got that.
Rubik has done a lot more than we thought he would.
Oh,
To be fair,
for sure.
he's been owning this game.
This might be the best Rubik game we've seen since the beginning of the DPC in the Chinese region.
I also gotta say, they made it a little bit easier for him by picking Sanking into it as well. He has stolen Burrow Strike many, many times. I still wonder how the game would have gone if they just went for this Ember last pick and just upped the pace a little bit, because this draft did not work out for them at all. Didn't manage to pressure the Terrorblade a single time. He's 9-0-11.
Yeah.
Guy's a god this game.
He really is. Planet
Roshan.
currently sitting at 2-4-20. Wow.
Yeah. He has been having a beast of a game. Oh, double damage to the Roshan pit, of course.
Every time. It's every time. The double damage comes out, and
He
now
lost
you're
the
going
swim
towards a
pick
refresher
up.
shard, too.
Here's hope. His courier died somewhere.
Yeah, down for another minute 45, but that was more the item that doesn't allow them to run away.
I said there's hope. And by hope, I mean hope to prolong this game by like 2 minutes.
Blink, Dragon Tail, Ink Swell, and Disc already popped. XCJ in some trouble as he's lifted up into the air by this Rubik. Burrow Strike onto the backlines as well as the Haunt. They're going to go all the way over. Looking for Planet, but he's got his own AI Disc. The Burrow Strike stolen! It hits 3! This Rubik's doing it all! They're going to go for September. They'll pull them back. This Kunkka's really keeping them close. Yeah, you've got a TB that can chase, but you don't even need him to chase because they're staying within the realm of Phoenix the entire time. And MS, he's the one who dies on the side of SAG. Man, Dolme just using that tidal wave so well.
Yeah, and this is the trip to the third city of the day. Already wrecked
Oh.
the city. Like they got
Wrecked
absolutely
city.
wrecked. Yeah,
All right.
like no chance. You just have no chance. He used the refresher shot as well in Terrorblade to get the next meta up. And just mega creeps. And probably the game as well.
Oh,
SAG
yeah,
don't want
that's
to GG
looking
out,
likely.
but you know, TI qualifiers, you definitely want to fight to the last.
Burrow Strike, not sure that's really going to be enough here. Viper Strike gets thrown out as well, but they get the kill in a 7E. It's going to be Shiro, who's
He's dying in the
beyond
fountain.
godlike at this point. Trying to pull him back
Careful.
with the tidal wave. Oh, actually hit Son Goku, who's over to the side. They'll finally call GG, and Phoenix will secure game 1.
Yeah, on the back of a very strong Terrorblade performance by Shiro. It was a pretty free Terrorblade game, but Shiro is also one of the better TBs in the region, probably in the world as well. We spoke about him many times. He is a up-and-coming player. He has been for quite a while. Surprised he hasn't gotten to any quote-unquote like tier 1 team.
Right.
The guy's a beast. He owned. He did
Yeah,
it.
going the wish score of 11-0-11. So make a wish for all you fans out there for Shiro, who just absolutely lit it up. Again, like you said, You had a Rubik that really kind of outperformed, I'd say, all our expectations of this hero, based on what we had seen from Rubik's previously. And as much as I doubted the support combo, and I'll say I doubted it, they dominated. They did so well. And I think the first glimpse of that we had was when ZZQ landed that great soulbind that stopped the Rolling Thunder. Like, that was perfect.
Agreed.
Just overall, a very perfect game here from Phoenix. Got what they needed around the map. Shiro backing out of the lane, going to jungle, and Phoenix take game 1. So we'll see if Sparking Arrow Gaming could come back, make it a 3-game series, or Phoenix will move on to the next round with a 2-0. But we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back in a short while. So stay right there. We'll be right back.
I think we're going to need somebody to go check on Shiro's cholesterol after that game, because boy, he was fat. Phoenix take game number 1 here in their first series of the TO10 qualifiers for China. Lads, I mean, I think you talked a little bit to death there in the cast there, Black. TB's just too good this game, it seems.
Yeah, it is. Usually, there's another region, especially SEA that I covered previously, he was picked first 2 a lot, and nobody could deal with it. This game, 8th overall pick, it's just too good. Like, it's too late into the draft. You can't answer him at all. Even if you pick this Ember Spirit, maybe the draft is a little bit better, but he's not the greatest answer to Terrorblade either. Like, you gotta pick a hard counter, and that hard counter needs to get off to a good start, and there's just too many things that need to come into place to beat that. It's just too good.
Well, do we think, kind of moving forward, we saw it in the first draft where they banned the Bloodseeker early on here, did Sparking Arrow to try and protect this Pangolier. Didn't really get protected all too much because the Grimstrike came out from Phoenix. So you feel like, maybe heading into game number 2, this Terrorblade should be at the forefront of their mind to at least try and get or take away from Phoenix here?
Yeah. I'd at least try and get the TB out, right? But what does that open up if you first phase ban him? Like, what other troubles does that put you in?
I think you can give it away, but you need to have a plan against it. Like, the plan can't just be he loses lane, goes jungle, and we let him do that. Like, you actively gotta stop him, which is just so hard to do. So maybe just second phase ban him. Maybe first phase you can still deal with him. But if you pick him dead late into the draft, it's just too easy for Phoenix. Or maybe they just take it themselves.
It did feel like this terrible was kind of the final nail in the coffin there for Sparking Arrow. But I guess moving forward, I still want to touch on this Pango a little bit, because opening up the draft with something like that and protecting it with a few of those bans feels like it needs to be a little bit more priority, right? So do we think that Sparking Arrow maybe had a little bit more of a better idea behind this Pango, maybe not wanting it to be a pos for September, B-Cop?
I don't know if Pango's really the forefront of what they're thinking with that draft. Like, yeah, the bans kind of show it, but I don't know. If you're letting TB through like that, you got to be thinking more 4D chess when it comes to drafting. Like, it felt like that draft left a lot of vulnerabilities if they didn't win the lanes, and they didn't. Like that felt like a laning stage that set up pretty well for them. It put it on the tee, and then bottom didn't really go that great. The Viper was an odd choice. Like, I would say replace the Viper, and that might be okay for them.
Well, it seems like so far that Sparking Arrow, unfortunately, they did not start out this series the way they wanted to. But we're going to go to a short break, ladies and gentlemen. On the other side of this, we're going to have game number 2 between Phoenix and Sparking Arrow Gaming.
Looking back at the good times before it all went down. Climbed right up on the hillside, a different view of my life. You left me running on and on, but I don't care, would you let me in? You said goodbye like everything's gone. Everything that we could have been.
G'day everyone, welcome back to the TI10 close qualifiers for China. We got back a little bit early from this break because we want to get into game number 2 for everyone back at home. We've got Black and B Cop once again, lads. So let's have a quick little reminder about game number 1 and what we're expecting for game number 2.
Reminder? Well, you know, Phoenix, they played Dota really well. And SAG, they kind of played Dota really well, but Phoenix was here. SAG was about there. And Phoenix won game 1. But it was really just off the back of Shiro. He really destroyed, had a perfect game as TB. And SAG, they drafted poorly around a TB getting picked in the second phase, which at least if you're going to draft like that, you got to have better plans.
Yep. If you lose the chess portion of Dota, then it is almost, well, it's not impossible to win, but it is really, really, really difficult.
And I mean, we saw that coming out from game 1, right? Where the fact that they lost the chess portion, Terrorblade gets huge, ends the game, basically double the net worth of the closest hero on the Radiant. So seeing now as we get into game number 2, surely that's got to be in the back of the mind here for Sparking Aaron. You can tell with the fact that they've changed it up already with the 2 opening heroes. They didn't ban the Bloodseeker this time. They didn't want to go Pango. They're going to change it up completely and see if they can get something different here. Is this going to be the carry axe though, B-Cop? Are we expecting this coming out from China being the pioneers of it all?
I'd love to see it be the carry axe, but I'm not sure if that's like the style we're gonna see from MS. I would probably expect Son Goku to be on it more. 7E Invoker is gonna be a fun watch though, as that gets picked up. I think I'm equivalent on 7E Invoker that I am on D-Stone's Invoker, but that may be because I'm not as excited from D-Stone's Invoker because it hasn't been like the most amazing thing recently. But I don't know. I see 7E and he gets Invoker. I get excited. Like the old days when D-Stones would pick Invoker and everybody would be like, this is going to be a hype game.
Does Invoker pick, I think, should mean that Axe is off. It can still work from a carry roll, of course. But usually you pick the Axe Invoker combination for the Initiation Cataclysm. Which of course you can do from a carry roll as well. It's just a little bit more risky earlier on. And also, the line pick, maybe you don't really want to do the carry axe anymore because, of course, you can't freely push those lanes anymore against Mana Drain and Hex. And Abaddon. Interesting pick. Doesn't really hard counter anything. You can't get rid of the taunt from Axe. You can't really get rid of Sunray. Like, I don't know. This Abaddon pick seems a little bit sus. Maybe they know more than I do. But it's not great here.
5 seconds remaining.
I think the Abaddon is more also like a ZZQ kind of thing. He really does love that. I know we were seeing a couple of teams fall back on a couple of their comfort heroes for supports. Like Red Panda earlier today played Brewmaster. When he first joined Elephant, that was like the thing that he played all the time. Like I think maybe 17 of the first 20 matches he played with Elephant, he was playing Brewmaster. Same kind of here with ZZQ and Abaddon. It's just something that he likes to fall back on. And they've got the line, which I'm a big fan of. As it seems like everybody in the game is.
But I would I would love it if it's reverse, you know? The Phoenix is on the Phoenix side, and Abaddon actually makes so much more sense against Lion Dragon Knight, right? But they just have nothing to really dispel here. Fire Spirits, Battle Hunger, and Cold Snap? Alright.
It's 3. Some value.
Really small ones.
Yeah. I mean, it could also try and protect against like the Cataclysm. Oh, alright.
This
So
is
are we leaning more towards Carriax now?
I think it has to be at this point, right? Unless that's a 5 Phoenix 4 Darkseer, but I don't know if that's really what you want to do with that Darkseer.
What is the problem with this Abaddon now, though? Like, Abaddon hates laning into Darkseer. Right now you're stuck with him. Could be an offlane Abaddon, worst case maybe. But against Carry Axe? Morphling, yes. Alright, that salvages everything quite a bit. Easy lane against Darkseer. And Carry Axe. Honestly, if Morphling is fast, you should never be able to kill him, right? Like, he will just morph up, you don't have enough damage to kill him. And I like that a whole lot more now. Now it makes sense that you pick the Abaddon because Morphling is a laner that enjoys having Abaddon. around quite a bit, and they only have one stun.
Yeah, this Morphling, if I had to compare it, I have a lot more faith in Shiro or Yi's Morphling than I do in Fly's Morphling. I think that's the bar I usually set for myself in confidence of players to heroes in terms of
What about
Morphling.
Emo then, compared to him?
Emo's top notch. Whenever IG gets Emo Morphling, I'm always like on the edge of my seat when I'm like, oh, it's gonna be Emo Morphling or Fly. It's like they either win or lose in that decision. So,
Okay.
but yeah, Emo Morphling top notch. Fly, I love the guy. We've never met, but he doesn't know that. And you know, he picks Morphling, a little less confidence.
All right. I'll trust your word on the pick up.
All right, that's fair. I appreciate it.
I mean, you need confidence in it eventually, right? Especially, you know, the fact that the Terrorblade is still kind of sitting out here in the pool and nobody's actually touched it. So, understanding that the Phoenix want the Morphling a little bit better than what they do the Terrorblade. Is that just purely for the lane coming in here against the Darkseer?
Yeah, you will definitely free farm there. We don't see the pos 4 yet, because I think it's going to be 5 Phoenix. If they pick like an Earth Spirit or Nyx Assassin, maybe it gets a little bit tougher. But just in general, you don't really want to pick Terrorblade into an Axe, because you didn't know really if it's going to be a carry Axe or not, so your lineup doesn't really suit a Terrorblade at that point. Because against an offlane Axe, he will just get your tower super fast, get a Vanguard super fast, and you actually don't feel good about jungling that early. So the Morph pick makes a lot more sense. Should be okay in lane. You're pretty decent against carry Axe, really good actually, even in the mid-late game. And they're on a timer now, I'd say, SAG is.
Interesting to see what they want to try and go for towards the end here. Obviously, Phoenix can still try and pick up an offlaner or a mid laner, right? Because they've got that Dragonite that can flex to the offlane in the mid.
Yeah, what would we like to see here? I feel like Dragonite against Invoker is not bad at all. But against carry Axe, we have seen so many people try so many different heroes against carry Axe, and nothing really seemed to work in lane. I'm personally a big fan of Death Prophet, but even Death Prophet lost to the carry Axe, so I don't know how confident they are on that. It would make sense in this lineup though, because you got a lot of save, you got initiation, you got frontline. DP would be good. If it's an offlane, maybe they'll just pick a mid lane against Invoker as well. Root Mother, let's go.
Ooh.
Lashrak. Alright, so
That timer seems like it's about to get even smaller with that Lashrak.
Yeah, it's a lot of farm they need though. More Flash are very farm focused on the early game. Might not be enough creeps around the map.
Especially
And I
with
guess
how Shiro's eating them up.
Sorry. I guess kind of the next question is then like who kind of makes the plays coming in for Phoenix if these lanes don't go extremely well for them, right? Like who's really going to be, you know, rotating around the map? I guess the Lashrak's probably going to be trying to put pressure on the towers, same with the DK, but you know, who's really going to get the game going for them if it doesn't go off to a good start?
I think they'll have to do really well in lanes. If they lose the lanes badly, this early mid game is going to be terrible for Phoenix, and SAG is going to run away with it. That's also sort of what they drafted for, because carry Axe usually means snowball lane, get really big, minute 20, you have this huge timing, and you just run the enemy over. And Phoenix have to make sure they protect themselves against the timing. Which actually Sven, so it's a support Axe, or what? I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Support
September
Axe.
on the Axe. Oh, okay.
What is happening? Like, the draft was so good, and now I kind of feel like they ruined it a little bit.
This is like that Viper 5. Except now it's Axe
Why
4.
did they need to do this? I feel carry Axe is really good against Dragonite, and it would have a really good pace in this game. I don't know, Sven just doesn't feel great against Morphling, or Dragonite, or even Lashrak. I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of an interesting one, right? Like, both these drafts don't really kind of scream amazing to either of us. So I guess we'll start with you, Black. Where do we feel like this game number 2 is going to go, considering that we see who's playing what?
I was gonna go SAG, honestly, if they picked like an Earth Spirit or something last, but this last pick Sven is really off-putting for me. I'm gonna go with Phoenix again. Even though I don't really like Phoenix draft too much, I'm not too hot on it. I think it got a little bit of a better one.
What about you,
Give it
B-Cop?
some
What do you
thought
feel?
here. I think SAG are kind of also showing what happened in the game too. Like they're kind of hesitant and not like certain with their movements or what they want to do here. Like the draft screams, we're unsure. They
Who's
had
gonna
the
initiate
opportunity
now?
to go carry X. Yeah, I have no idea. Like I really liked the idea of carry X and going with something else. Maybe it's just showing the uncertainty of this lineup. I gotta go Phoenix. They're my TI choices. I'm not trying to be biased or anything. I just think you could see by that draft, like that seems just the uncertainties there for sure.
All right, well, it looks like there's a little bit of uncertainty in game number 2, but I'm sure these players know exactly how this is going to pan.
In the game number 2, we'll see if Phoenix can put it away 2-0 up against SAG. I don't know if you agree with that. Like, does that mean you're hesitant or you're just unsure? Like, we've seen uncertainties from SAG throughout game 1. Uncertain about how they want.
I don't know why, honestly. It feels like a really, really good carry axe game.
Yeah.
The only thing they have that's annoying is Lion, but they would win the lane. They would have a massive setup for Cataclysm. Sure, this +5 axe is gonna have... It's actually a +4 axe, sorry. +4 axe is gonna have a Blink Dagger eventually. But he's gonna be pretty squishy, unless they somehow dominate their top lane. Darkseer axe is good. Like, you get Battle Hunger, you get the Surge, Iron Shell. It's not weak. I'm just worried, because the Apothic Shield, of course, purges off the Battle Hunger. I don't know how well they can dive this Morphling, because of course he has the Morph ability. I feel like they had all the tools available to them to shut him down, like a last pick Earth Spirit or something like that. And they chose to go crazy again.
It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, in my mind, I knew it was probably a bad pick, but I was even thinking like Skywrath Mage, but that hero just gets blown up. Morphling gets on top of you and pops you. But even that, like, I thought would have been decent. Blink, call, get in there, throw a Mystic Flare on top, do something. But we'll see how this game goes as we get a quick pause from XCJ. Probably a little bit of lag. But we'll see. Well, both teams having some disconnects at the moment. I'm just worried about, like, are SAG thinking they're going to get, like, the perfect vacuum into a Stormhammer, God Strength, cleaving all the kills? Like, that's a lot to ask for if that's what you're looking to get. That's for sure.
I mean, it can happen, of course. There's always the danger when you play against Darkseer Sven. I'm just very worried for the mid game. Like, Dragon Knight and Lashrak, they have so much tower damage, and I don't know who's gonna come to defend all those towers. Like, Darkseer doesn't really want to do it. Sven won't be able to do it. And if those two aren't there, then where's the damage gonna come from? I have a lot of question marks in regards to this early game, because Sven needs his space. Like, he needs his towers up for quite a long time just to be able to farm up. And right now he doesn't have that.
Yeah, you're already over there sitting in question mark city.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't own a question mark shirt here, but I'll be wearing it if I did.
IG, I think you guys need to get on that. Some question mark merch.
See, would have already had a customer.
Planet can have the game he had on the Rubik on this line. I really do worry for SAG just having now even more available lockdown, the Hex, the burst damage. Like, that could be potentially problematic here for SAG as the Earth Spike comes out on XCJ. One of the things I am concerned about is, you know, how safe is this Phoenix egg?
Decently safe until Morphling gets a couple of items. Like, if Morphling just chooses to go BKB, this egg will not go up. If Morph is on top of his game. You just waveform on top of it, hit it, and there's nothing I can do to save it.
Right.
But pre-BKBs, I would say it's pretty safe. They got Vacuum, they got Deafening Blast, they got Axe Call. A lot of good spells to save it. So this early game engagement should go the way of SAG. But that's if they got off from a decent laning stage. And that's what they need. They need levels, they need early farm in order to contest them. And if the Slash Rock DK just put on too much of a pace, I don't think they can get there.
Yeah, it really feels like a lot in this game comes down to the laning phase, and we'll have to see how that ends up going, because SAG, I think they had a game plan in the first one and had some thoughts about how they wanted to play their lanes, but it didn't exactly execute that way. And we'll see if they fail to execute in this second game in the laning phase. Like, that could certainly, serve to be a big issue for them. You see Son Goku, he's trying to cut the creep wave as best he can. Shiro brings it under the tower, and we'll see how much CS he gets out of that. The aphotic shield not helping in that situation. Misses that CS.
A little bit of a ruin. But it's fine. Morph just needs level 3. Once he's level 5, he's pretty much unkillable. But they don't have any hard stuns, as we said. Like, Morph literally only dies if he waveforms in and gets, like, EMP'd or something like that.
And the only thing that you're really scared of is, what, Stormhammer? If you're a good Morph player, that's the only thing that you should be, like, maybe thinking is the biggest issue for you.
Also so slow, though. If anything, maybe the vacuum that kind of pulls you out of position, because you can't Morph during it and then you get stunned. Something like that. Right. But it's a very free Morph game again. And last game, when Shiro was free, we saw what he did.
MS 17 CS.
He's farming very well.
Do you see the DK keeping up?
Yeah. I mean, Sven is just pure physical damage. As soon as he's level 4, level 5, 6, he will just have to retreat to the jungle. Don't think Sven is a hero that can stop DK from pushing the tower.
Looking around the map, no stacks.
Mid lane.
And they're looking to get Yi on this Leshrac, but they just don't have enough to finish him off. They probably need even a +1 on that.
Yeah. Shiro just fighting with the axe a little bit, but not getting the best trade, of course, with that Iron Shell on top of him. As I said, the lane is good, but they're not slowing down Morph a whole lot.
Yeah. He's right there with the Sven, with the cores in this game, farming. Like, this has not been a lane that he's exactly been slowed down on, even with them cutting the creeps and him having to take a couple of waves under the tower.
Yeah, but Daxia is also farming freely, so that's what we said they needed. Levels and gold early, and they're getting that so far on all 3 lanes.
Is it more so that they just need their lanes to go well, or do they also need to beat Phoenix? Like, is staying equal with Phoenix enough in that game plan, or does it really need like a lane to kind of pop off?
Just needs to be able to survive to the mid game, to get to those big team fights that they're looking for.
Right. Pretty slow right now.
Yeah. No kills
yet.
But
that could be due to the fact that we've seen a couple of pauses, maybe they're a little inconsistency in the ping that they have at the moment. So that could take away a little bit of confidence if you want to make a move. They've put some pressure onto this Sven, and he's starting to tick down pretty low. MS needs to run. Level 1 in that war cry, but Planet, he's got a Hex and a Finger, or a Hex and an Earth Spike, but just not the mana for both.
Yeah, but just making this man feel uncomfortable is a win in itself already. As the levels rise, he's gonna feel more and more uncomfortable. Once DK is 6, they need rotations, because otherwise this bot tower is gonna fall relatively quickly.
And I think if MS leaves to the jungle, this tower is dead. You bring over Yi, he's already level 6. He comes in, he'll use, a Diabolic Edict, even though it's only level 1, but that with potentially a level 6 DK in the next minute or so means a dead tower almost certainly.
Yeah, I'd agree. That's why I was questioning this Sven pick a little bit. It's not that great against DK. Which
it just stands even.
Was going to be offlane.
Maybe looking for... We'll will find him, but the Dragon Tail out onto the Sven. They just want to get the Earth Spike to land. He ends up missing it. There's the call, and there's first blood for MS. Unfortunate that he misses that Earth Spike because potentially it goes the other way, and Sven ends up being the first blood.
Potentially, he doesn't have the most damage on Dragon Knight, of course. And it was an axe rotation, so that means Morphling is now absolutely free. He already was, but now he's even freer. We see a Lion TP top there looking for the Darkseer, but surging away. Or is he?
Into the camp, so he's got no mana to work with. The Earth Spike comes in. They've got the Hex to follow it up, and, well, Darkseer, he's left alone and left to die. So Son Goku goes down to Shiro. Now both the carries in this game have themselves a kill, and we talk about SAG needing good lanes. They're already down 1,000 net worth. Like, this is not out of hand. It's too early, I would say, to say it's out of hand, but it's getting there. Like, this is Phoenix just doing well all over the map.
Yeah, certainly not out of hand, but you can see E, he's like, all right, let's ramp up the pressure a little bit. Rotating bottom. Just want to get this tower. I think I got a stun here. Might be able to kill him too. The level 2 one.
And another stun in from Yi. MS in trouble on the run under the tower, but it's not going to be enough to save him his positioning. And so MS will die. 70 makes the rotation. And, well, he's really forced to kind of just watch them as they leave.
Yeah, the early game damage issues we spoke about. The biggest damage they have, sad to say, is Iron Shell at this point. But who makes good use of that? Sven, sure, but he wants to be farming, not fighting. Axe, potentially, but you're a support Axe. You don't really want to run into 4 or 5 heroes either.
Tornado EMP, Dolme without mana.
Yep, no mana, but plenty of health.
One of the things that really gives me a lot of confidence in Phoenix, not just in this game, just overall, back when Perfect World League was happening before the DPC and before ROTK committed with Elephant, it was actually coaching for the first season at least, Phoenix. And so Phoenix got to pick his brain a little bit. Hold that thought for a second, is up towards top. This axe ends up dead. September falls to Shiro, so now Shiro's got himself 2 kills. But yeah, I mean, Phoenix, they got to pick the brain of ROTK during that season when they were a young team, kind of coming in, you know, putting it all together. And then on top of which, you go from 70 to Yi, and you've got yourself a guy who's been there, a guy who's got experience, and probably, I would say, a shot caller for this squad. Like, that's something that I'm not sure a lot of people know about Phoenix, is the fact that they got that little coaching session from ROTK, and this team looks, especially coming out of DPC Season 2, very clean. And oh boy, Morphling! No. Shiro, a little bit of a misplay as I prop them up, but they end up losing September in return. However, going high into that edge.
Now they can actually pressure top tower because of that. You know, small mistakes like this in close games, they can matter a lot, potentially.
That's a big issue for Phoenix. Certainly not this
one. As soon as he sees the Morphling, he knows it's lights out for that tower. Mid tower also taking a ton of damage, 200 health left. Ooh, Darkseid caught at the Lash. Can I get him?
Yeah,
no
Yi in trouble, but
What's the problem with
he's
the
got
draft?
help from
Like,
ZZQ.
imagine if that axe was a lion. The guy's dead. Why is there an axe with tranquil boots?
Or even one of the more popular supports that we saw in the DPC season, the Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, or anything that is not a +4 axe. Like,
Yeah,
I want to see what he can actually make happen, because so far he didn't do anything. He didn't win a lane. He didn't really yank a whole lot. He got 1 kill on the lion, alright. Anybody could have done. You could have picked a patch for that. Like, show me what you got with this hero. Because if you go away from a core axe, you need to know what you're doing with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
for sure.
show me, guys.
Yeah, make us fawn over this axe because it's really not showing much of anything at the moment.
Yeah. 'Cause if your +4 is the only stun, and it's not actually like a really real stun, and it doesn't have a good game, he's not gonna get a blink dagger anytime soon.
Right now, and I hate to pile it on, Axe is feeling like he's in the population of disappointing city.
Yes.
We'll see.
Certainly so.
There's certainly opportunity if he gets into like a blink dagger and makes a big blink call. Go after ZZQ. He's not level 6 yet, so he's dead on his screen already. The question is to whom?
So greedy.
And it will be Son Goku. Yeah, that
He
really
just
is.
stood there for like a minute. He kept
They got
trying
mid tier
to...
1.
I mean, it's good space. But he just stood there mist coiling all of the Axis creeps. He's probably like, yo guys, do something. It's annoying.
Fight me. Rotate. I'm
If
trying
he
to
was
make
6
space
there,
here.
Off that creep and would have survived, that would have been so boss. It would have been a giga
Just
chat
walks
move.
away.
Yeah. And Dragon Knight gets the Blink Dagger delivered by the Abaddon, and they're looking for this Invoker. Or are they? Axis breaking the smoke. Wait, that was awkward.
Blink Dragon
Get the
Tail
axe anyway.
coming through, and there's the Earth Spike as well as the finger. So Planet's gonna get the kill, but they go to the Stormhammer. They have some decent damage and a great place for this Supernova. If they can protect it, it looks like it's going off. I don't even really need to protect it, but that'll hit up on a ZZQ as well as Planet. They'll get the kill onto the Lion. Now they'll look over at ZZQ, whose borrowed time is up. And, well, MS gets a double kill. That is a gank gone wrong for Phoenix.
It started off very awkward. Like, you want to have your Blink Dagger hero lead, but he didn't. And then they get unsmoked. Lion is like, oh no. And then they want to go in anyway after they've been spotted already, so you can kind of know that the SAG rotations are already coming in. They do end up killing Axe, though, which is the only guy that is going to initiate, as we said many, many times. Slowing his Blink Dagger down even more. His net worth compared to the Lion is a joke.
1,000 gold behind the Lion, who's close to his own Blink Dagger. I almost feel like if Lion gets his Blink Dagger first, Axe may never see the item Blink Dagger.
Maybe not never, but possibly too late. What is Lash going for? So he went for the quick use, just straight into BKB. I'd say the biggest thing I like about Phoenix is just their stable drafts. If they have stable drafts every time. They never really outdrafted. Oh, Axe again.
Already calls, but
Maybe a little bit of
nobody
bait this
picks
time.
up. Yeah, it's turning around pretty well with 7E as well as the Phoenix being behind them, but they do have the help from ZZQ. They're going to get the damage out onto September and now look for more. 7E goes into the Ghost Walk, so he'll start to get out
Yep.
like
Shiro
a ghost.
maybe needs to play a little bit more of Invoker. Randomly ghost walking. That looked funny.
A little odd on that.
Yeah. They have a
Another
high ground
sentry
ward,
put
but they
down.
know.
Oh, they got it.
Oh yeah. Oof. Barely alive. They have a Vessel on Invoker, but they already have a good answer to that, of course, in the Abaddon. Every shield means one Vessel charge gone. And if that's
Yeah.
the big investment of your early game, it can hurt.
It's the big investment, and you only have 2 charges right now. Like it's not like SAG is as active as they want to be getting those charges and really shutting down Phoenix in any way.
Yeah. Vessel is a really good item, don't get me wrong. It's just tough to pull off against an Abaddon. Lion, Blink
Right.
Dagger completed. Okay, this is the power spike though. Darkseer just completed his Aghanim Scepter. So they have a lot of health to work with from that Iron Shell. This could potentially be the fact that they need to run them over. Shiro out of mana. Did not manage to manta dodge that. Gotta go to the Polygon training.
Big issue is MS used God Strength, I believe, to try and get a kill on Yi, and he didn't grab it with the Yules. He just walked away. So God Strength's going to be on cooldown.
It wasn't
I would
even
assume
close.
you want to use that Ags on like an aggressive play with your Sven, but now you don't really have that opportunity. At least at the
Yeah.
moment. And Planet's got his blink. I
Planet is
love
big.
this positioning from Phoenix.
Or they call Son Goku.
They'll get the blink, and it's the Dragon Tail. Planet actually doesn't use his yet, maybe holding it to potentially catch up to Son Goku if he does try to run. However, Phoenix just let him
They
go.
show mercy? They had Hex and everything. Dragon
When
had
the
an
king goes
arcane
thumbs
move.
up, you can't kill him.
Okay, that was interesting. They got scared, of course. Obviously.
7E. They're gonna try and chase. They've got the surge onto September, but the smoke, potentially a smoke fake back from Phoenix. We'll see how they use it, because that caused a lot of rotations over bottom, and it's continuing to just open up a wealthy amount of space for Shiro.
You say Surge on September, but... Oh yeah, no, September, not again!
There's the finger. There's the kill. Planet with 2 stacks.
Yeah, Botar taking a lot of damage as well. And again, the Axe is dead. 800 away from his blink.
He was getting there.
He was. Yeah, pinging that
Bullet
Roshan.
for Dire. Was that Grove Bow? Are they going to use God Strength potentially to go for that first Roche?
Yeah, could do it. It's just if you get caught after that, what do you have to fight? You
Right.
need to be able to fight back. They don't have BKBs yet on the Dire side, but they're closing in on them. Sven has his timing. They gotta force something. Whether it's mid tower or Roshan, they gotta force the fight now because Darkseid has been so strong for so long. Just haven't used it.
Haven't done anything with him.
They're still waiting for this Axe blink. I feel like that's what they've been waiting for this entire time.
Or to get
But at this rate.
Planet. That's rude. That is a wasted smoke. And again,
Blink.
bottom.
Axe again.
Axe is dead. I said if Blink comes out first for Planet, he may not see a Blink in his inventory.
He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. Minute 25. It's a little later than we used to, you know? Carry Axe would have had Vanguard, Manta, Blink, and Shard at this point.
Well, I don't know about Shard.
Well, I mean...
In 30 seconds.
Just like my on, just nagging. Nag cop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I forgive you. It's one time.
I got worried there for a second.
Yeah,
We got a couple more days together. If you don't forgive me, yeah, this is gonna be pretty awesome. Yours and mine.
That is true. You are an awkward bun.
All right.
Sorry if that's.
I guess I did kind of walk right into that one, but
I mean, you wanted to get flamed. You just basically told me, "Hey, Black, flame me right now."
Blink Dagger
And I did,
now
of course.
for Darkseer. You certainly did. I'm on fire. I'm inflamed. Almost.
Yeah. Well, what's
BKB
next,
for Shrek. He's
Peacock?
got the
When are they
gold.
gonna start using their power spikes?
Let me check my watch.
Yeah. Check the power spike on it.
2 minutes.
2 minutes from now. But then it's not a power
Yeah.
spike anymore, because that's now.
Right. But when
But
will
they're smoking
then
up right
be
away.
now?
Okay, let's go. Let's go. This is the fight they're looking for. If they win this fight, they go straight into the pit. If they lose this fight, game looks bad. And if
Yeah,
Lion breaks the
yeah.
smoke, that's not what you want. And he broke it.